Hello and welcome to another weekly update and feeding of our to harvest or not to harvest worm bin experiment. So I have my food here measured out exactly, and it's going to wait here until we finish our inspection of the bin, and then we'll feed them up. So for those who have not seen this experiment before, this is how I keep the air flow coming into the worm bins. Instead of having a whole bunch of holes all the way around, I just did a nice cutout and put some doubled up some mosquito netting and taped it. It's really easy. And this way it prevents the fruit flies from going into the bin, as well as gives the bin all the air that it needs. And the worms are happy because they are not crawling, neither here nor there. I used to not cover my bins with the lids at all. I used to just have the mosquito netting over it, but then I have, between all the bins I had, it was such a large collection of lids that I said, I have to do something with it. And so I started doing it that way. As you can see, the bedding looks nice. The moisture level is perfect, even though it has been getting hot here and dry. Because the castings retain the moisture so well, all of this is beautiful. Fluffy and light. I don't want to put any more bedding in here because I do want to harvest one of the bins. And if I keep adding bedding, the number of worms that we started with just don't have the capacity to go through all that bedding in a timely fashion. So I'm not going to add. And you see, a little hitchhiker. I want to make sure I don't get him out of here and into the other bin. And now we're going to do this one. We're going to do the same. We're going to lift the material. It's very rich. I love it. The worms are doing a good job with this. I do add a little bit of water. I find maybe once every couple of weeks, because it has gotten so hot and dry. And even though this is the basement, still there's no moisture in the air. Okay, and this is where we fed last week. And this is the area that is really nice and super moist because the food is here. And I did give them pieces of, looks like mango skin. Lighting's pretty bad here. But this is where they are, munching away. And for being so few worms, I'm still impressed with how quickly they eat through the food. So we'll cover this back up, and then we'll check this area as well. Again, we can see that it's moist here a lot more so than in the rest of the bin, because this is where the food was. And I do tend to feed summer fruits now, so it's definitely a moist environment. But here they are in the food. And again, lots of babies. Okay, cover that up. I'm sure they'll finish it by next week. So now we're going to do our weekly feeding. And I think I'm going to feed in the center. Like I said, I try and pick a drier spot. So that all the moisture can go from the food decomposing can go in there. And this is a larger feeding. But if they don't finish here and they don't finish there, we'll skip the feeding next week. But I want to encourage, if there are any cocoons there, I really do want to encourage them to hatch. So I'm providing them with enough food. Same thing here. I know some people like to go, clockwise or counterclockwise when they pocket feed, and that's fine. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. As long as you pocket feed, as long as you, don't overfeed, as long as you monitor that the 2 weeks prior has been eaten, then that's really the most important thing. Okay, we're on track, we're doing great. And we'll leave them alone until next week. So thank you for joining me. We'll see you then.